Well, a very good morning, everybody, for Tuesday, the 31st of August, technically the last day of meteorological summer. If I'm honest, I think that departed us last week, or maybe even a few weeks before that, in terms of weather patterns. We still sit within this northeasterly flow, which continues to drag very moist air across the UK, and with that, keeping the sort of the cloud layers going, a lot of sort of low temperatures across the region. This cloudy front will just sort of float about. It doesn't really affect what's going to happen today. Maybe the odd bit of drizzle caused because of it. But as you can see, though this is a fairly settled picture, we're on the wrong side of it. It's just bringing in moist air. So yes, high pressure continues to dominate. That high will start to decline over the next few days. The Atlantic may start to be building up a bit of a battlefront there, and maybe we might see some issues, not this weekend, but next week in terms of rain. But certainly at the moment, we're still not in a particularly good picture for at least soaring. It is flyable though. Those isobars still remain quite tight, very similar to yesterday. And we're looking in the region today of winds at the ground of about 10 knots from the northeast. At flying heights, probably about 15, sometimes even 20 knots. And there certainly has been some notable wind gradients, especially yesterday. That's public forecast, which shows that a sort of an overcast picture starting to clear up later into the afternoon. Do take this with a pinch of salt, though, having been at the comps at Aston Down last week. Forecasts really do struggle to understand the northeasterly and what it might do. So it's really purely driven on heating alone and just getting the dew point and temperature to split a bit and to get a little bit more separation and a higher cloud base. But as we can see here, maybe a bit brighter by very late this afternoon. But certainly this morning will be misty and murky, and I know the cloud is not particularly high currently. Satellite picture tells it all, really, unless you are in Glasgow or in the Western Isles of Scotland, you are not seeing particularly too much in the way of anything. Really, the closest landmass which is seeing any sort of sunshine is into Belgium and the Netherlands. But yeah, complete wall-to-wall cloud over us at the moment, and not particularly thinning. So yeah, the sun's going to do a little bit more work to sort that out. If we did get some breaks in the cloud today, we would probably see 19 to 20 degrees, but GFS, which is the model that runs this sort of temperature forecast, is going to overread if it thinks sunshine is coming. So I would say 16 to 17 is probably a little bit more like it. Dew points probably floating around 10. That's a picture outside. Almost a complete rerun of yesterday, really. When I refreshed, I wondered if the computer had frozen. But yeah, that is the picture outside at the moment. And we have a temperature, balmy, 12.7 degrees and dew point at 10. And you can see how well these lines track together. You can see where the cloud base went up briefly there yesterday, got up to a dizzy height of about 1,700 feet. And then they come back together and the clouds come back down. We're just not seeing too much. Those lines should be double, even triple of where they are at the moment. I was thinking yesterday how good the gliding clubs in Scotland and sort of the northeast have had this year. They've had the summer which we normally have. I guess we can't have it all. ODM are saying broken 800 feet. So yeah, probably same at Lasham really, and drizzle where that cloud gets thick enough. The worst of it should start to move away, but it's really not getting decently flyable probably till about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And even then, it's going to be the afternoon before we probably can air a tow if we can. Yesterday, the cloud just did not get really that high, above sort of 1,800 feet. Northeasterly winds, as I said, 0 to 0 at 8. Oops, Meteor's gone on strike. Just try and log myself back in. So yeah, Top Meteo says nil point really, unless you're living in the Liverpool region, away from windward coasts. Maybe a bit of brightness on the coast this afternoon and evening, but it's fairly difficult to tell what will happen when we get these northeasterlies. And as you can see here, on the whole, the cloud base is not going to get really much above sort of the 2,500 mark, even if we do see it improve. So yes, keep that in mind. Airspace wise, not particularly busy. Fairford's active, usual thing at the Salisbury Plain. I think things will have returned to normal there. Solent hours and Goodwood TDA, which should have temporary danger area, which should have finished as we go to air today. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That TDA is going to keep popping up. If you have any questions about it, ask Colin or myself, and we can provide some information a bit more on it. But the NOTAM generally explains all. And other than that, it is a fairly quiet picture. At the moment, I've not heard of anything to suggest that there are any jet movements on Navajos. I will put it on the briefing YouTube if there is anything, and I'll brief everybody if that's the case. But yes, operationally today, I'm going to use the same setup as yesterday. It worked reasonably well. I've had the cables on the north side, sort of winch towards the end of the runway, and yeah, so we'll swap the directions around. We'll go winch north side, seeing as we've got this northeasterly. Just keeps things a little bit more simple, and the cable a little bit further away as we're a bit quiet. So yes, just remember that. And Aerotos will be on the runway. So all launching will be off the runway. Grass absolutely fine. It's just I don't like sort of putting gliders on the grass on the north side at all. Okay, I'm sure I'll see you at some point this week. Just let's pray for a bit more sunshine. Bye for now.